A research team is analyzing spore colonies in the Donatu system. Their facilities are on a small moon there, but it's practically defenseless. Considering recent events, the Alliance wants to change that, and soon. They want us to go to Donatu and deploy defense satellites in orbit around the moon. Hopefully that will discourage anyone looking to harass the researchers or steal the spores. We're in luck. We made it here before JULA. Let's get to work. Starfleet is studying a spore colony on the planetoid ahead. It's a scientific research facility. No weapons, shields only. If JULA or her lackeys come to visit, they'll be sitting ducks. Fortunately, we're here.
Indeed.
We're carrying some defense satellites in the shuttle bay. Deploy them at key defense points, and JULA will be in for a nasty surprise if she decides to raid this spore colony.
Understood. Let's get those satellites in place.
Getting lots of good data coming in from the satellites. Looks like they're green across the board. Donatu Station sends their regards. There's a few dozen people down there who will sleep a little easier tonight thanks to our efforts.
If the Alachi return, the station will be ready for them.
The Alachi, the Ferengi, the Orions, and hey, let's not forget about JULA. Anyone tries to make a play for the spore colony, they're gonna regret it. But I digress. As much as I'd like to stick around and see what the researchers are up to, there's more work to be done. I'm picking up a distress signal from the Kern system. Kumarke's there with the Lukari research group. They were studying spore colonies in that system, but now I'm thinking they're fighting for their lives against House Mokai. We should give the Lukari a hand while we can.
Good to see you, my friend. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a firefight once again. That said, I can't think of anyone I'd rather have at my side during such an ordeal.
I'm glad we got here in time, Captain.
As am I. In spite of our mission being scientific in nature, the rogue Klingons attacked us all the same. I suppose they thought we'd be easy prey. I'm happy to say their logic was tragically flawed.
Indeed.
We can ponder their motivations further once the shooting stops. For now, I believe we should focus our attention on putting a stop to their attack.
Agreed. We're on our way, Captain.
We did it. Sensors are clear, for the moment. I'm afraid I have some bad news, however.
What is it?
2 of our ships were studying the nearby rift into the mycelial network when the Klingons attacked. While I'm still showing them on sensors, they're not responding to our hails. I fear they're in danger.
We'll investigate and render assistance if necessary.
Thank you for coming to our aid. Some sort of energy surge erupted from the rift and hit us. We lost main power, sensors, everything. If you arrived a few minutes later, it would have been over for all of us. Needless to say, any assistance you can offer us now will be greatly appreciated.
Stand by, Captain. We'll get you out of this.
The blessings of Lucar are upon us this day. Thank you. Our sister ship was hit by the energy surge as well. I will not abandon the Voot or her crew before returning to safety.
We'll assist the Voot as well, Captain. Let's go.
Our systems are coming back online nicely. My thanks to you and your crew. At the risk of looking impatient, may I suggest we move to safer surroundings? There's no telling when this rift will surge once more, and then all three of our ships will be stuck like Gretloons in a snare strip.
Can't have that, can we?
Under the circumstances, I think it'd be a good idea to use what we've learned so far and close the rift up while we can. The longer it stays open, the more chances we have of pissing off the Alachi, or the Jasep, or a roving tardigrade. You see where I'm going with this?
I hear you. Good point.
If you feel that's for the best, well, so be it. We'll watch your back while you make that happen.
Very good, Captain. Stand by.
That's one less rift to worry about. Let's regroup with Kumarke.
Bad news, I'm afraid. Klingons are approaching our position. I think that was the last of them. It appears JULA and her forces have been stopped once again. Though she is quite determined. They may well return here to pursue their mischief once more.
If they do, we'll be ready for them.
Indeed. In the meantime, we'll remain here to complete our research. Safe travels to you.
Starfleet's been reading a lot of Klingon ships operating near the Briar Patch. Normally, I wouldn't be too concerned, but there's a spore colony in there. If any of those Klingon ships belong to House Mokai, then JULA might have a harvesting operation in there too. Dangerous as it is, I think we need to go see what's going on inside the Briar Patch. I'm picking up signals from automated harvester units. It's Mokai Tech. They're processing spores here. Looks like they placed the harvesters on several asteroids. We need to shut those down now.
Agreed.
I'm picking up a lot of Metreon gas pockets out there, too. If we get into a fight, watch your fire around them. One hit can set one of them off, and the resulting explosion could be deadly, even to a starship.
Understood. We'll be cautious.
Shutting that thing down will be easy enough, but I'm concerned about the radiation it's been emitting into the spores. I'd like to neutralize that before taking the harvester tech offline, if you don't mind. Letting it linger could lead to serious side effects within the mycelial network.
Very well. Neutralize the radiation and shut down JULA'S tech.
Alliance vessels, we are here to assist you.
Looks like the Alachi are on our side for a change. That was something. Still debating whether it was terrifying or gratifying or both, but it was something. We'll want to keep an eye on this system until the whole JULA'S situation is dealt with. I wouldn't put it past her to send more ships and more harvesters once she thinks the coast is clear. There's a Starfleet distress signal coming from the Kinger system. The USS Birmingham was investigating pirate activity in the area while on patrol. There's a large concentration of spore colonies in that system. If pirates are in the spore business now, we have a new problem to deal with. We better see what's going on there. Pirates, it's hairy mud all over again. Looks like there was a fight here recently. I'm not picking up any House Mokai ships on the sensors, though. If they're here, they're under cloak.
We're getting a hail from the Birmingham.
Good to see you. Admiral Cabret, at your service. As you can see, we're dealing with an unexpected breakout of hostilities here.
What happened here, Admiral?
We came here to determine the status of a rather unusual variety of spore. As we were getting our bearings, a Ferengi marauder dropped out of cloak and unleashed hell.
Did I hear you correctly? A Ferengi ship with a cloaking device?
Afraid so. Fortunately, the Carter and Shurgat were able to respond before the Ferengi finished us off. Once they arrived, the Daemon pursued the better part of Valor and went back under cloak. Now that you're here, I believe the Ferengi will cut and run, assuming they're still out there hiding.
The odds aren't in their favor at the moment.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm reading low-level radiation coming from a nearby asteroid. I think your Ferengi is out there harvesting spores, Admiral.
We need to stop that immediately.
Take the Carter and Shurgat with you. The Ferengi will think twice about attacking a group of ships. And you might be able to put an end to all this without firing a shot.
Agreed. Let's get to it then.
The Carter is ready to assist you.
Lead the way. Shurgat will follow. Reading a single Ferengi vessel, Marauder class. They've decloaked.
I thought I made myself clear to that woolly-faced Starfleet Admiral. This salvage is mine and mine alone. Now run along before I'm forced to damage that pretty ship and take it as a prize. After all, even a damaged ship of that class will fetch a fine pile of latinum.
I think you're overestimating your chances, Madron.
That's what you get for doing your own thinking, friend. Allow me to show you the error of your ways.
Have it your way. Red alert.
Well, there's good news and bad news. Which would you like to hear first?
Let's hear the bad news.
Bad news, the Ferengi managed to harvest a spore colony from the asteroid before we arrived. He's got more than enough to make our lives difficult if he sells to JULA.
And the good news?
The Ferengi ship just dropped out of cloak, and by the look of things, they're suffering a full propulsion system breakdown. No impulse, no warp, thrusters only. So, how do you feel about taking those spores off their hands?
Sounds like a great idea. Let's make it happen.
Before you start, let me remind you that I have what you want, and it's one button press away from disintegration. My ship might be a mess, but my personal phaser works just fine.
Right. Energize.
You beamed out my spores! Not one, not some, but all my spores! I'm ruined! Oh, I don't suppose you're interested in a very promising business opportunity on Ryza? Beachfront property?
Hard pass. You're under arrest, Madron.
We've got company, angry company. They're targeting us and the Ferengi.
Red alert. All hands battle stations.
The nerve of some people. Do they not know the 16th rule of acquisition? A deal is a deal. Ah, but you're not a barbarian like those... Never mind. You've got class. I can tell.
Thank you, but you're still under arrest.
Now, don't be so hasty, my classy, well-armed friend. Before you haul me off, let me tempt you with a one-of-a-kind offer. That Ryzian timeshare I mentioned earlier, plus a full barrel of Tranya. 2386 vintage. That's easily worth my weight in latinum.
Ops, prepare the tractor beam. Let's get Madron where he belongs.
The last episode of Captain
The Birmingham
Roman.
is ready for
It's
action.
yours.
And not a moment too soon. It looks like Madron's treacherous friends are coming back for a rematch.
We're seeing them too, Admiral.
I can honestly say I had nothing to do with these ships coming to kill us. They're doing it all on their own. You aren't going to let them kill me, are you? I'm helpless. You have to protect me.
We'll do what we can. You're still under arrest after all.
Well fought indeed. They'll think twice about coming after us again. I'll let Alliance Command know what happened here today. If JULA or any of Madron's friends try to harvest the spores in this system, we'll make sure they have a nice welcoming party waiting for them.
And Madron?
Madron's on his way to a Federation holding facility. We will make sure he faces justice for what he's done here today. Rest assured. Your work is done here. We'll take care of the wrap-up. Cabret, out.
The Klingons think House Mokai forces are up to something in the Imaga system. I understand there was a problem with the planet killer in that system a while back. Interesting. Oh, where was I? Right, Imaga. In addition to a lot of debris and the ruins of this planet killer, there are spore colonies there. And House Mokai is probably harvesting them, so we should put a stop to that real soon. Getting some unusual readings from the spore colonies in this system. They're mutating at an accelerated rate, absorbing and emitting some nasty radiation as they do so.
Harpang radiation. It was used to destroy the Doomsday Machine.
Right, well, the spores are growing on the debris of this Doomsday Machine, which is where all of that radiation is coming from. This is a problem. The radiation is bleeding into the mycelial network through the spores. It'll cause serious damage if we don't deal with it soon.
Recommendations.
Hate to say it, but we need to cull the mutated spore colonies before the damage to the network is too great to reverse.
Understood. Helm, take us to the first spore colony.
Glorious! Did you see how JULA ran like a scalded Targ? She is not Klingon, and a disgrace to the memory of her honorable brother. We shall remain vigilant. If the coward JULA shows her hideous face here again, I will finish what we started here this day. I will send her, screaming, to the gates of Grethor.
She has a lot to answer for.
Is it me, or do most forms of Klingon justice ultimately end with screaming in Grethor? You know, never mind. I think I know the answer to that. Look, as long as House Mokai isn't polluting and destroying the mycelial network, I'm good.